To Amit sir, for graciously affording me the opportunity to introduce Dr. Monica Uppal ma'am among our esteemed gathering. It is my pleasure to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Monica Uppal ma'am, who has graciously accepted our invitation to join us today. We are thrilled to announce that this week, we have a special interactive sessions planned that will undoubtedly enhance your communication skills to new heights. We are honored to have Dr. Monica Uppal, ma'am, Vice Principal of DBMS College of Education, join us for these enlightening sessions. She is an esteemed educationist with a wealth of experience in her field. With 4 published books on education under her belt and having served as an editor to educational books, she brings a vast knowledge and expertise to a table. Her contributions have not gone unnoticed, as she was awarded the prestigious Rashtriya Gaurav Award in 2015 for her exceptional achievement in the realm of education. This session with Dr. Uppal ma'am promises to be an invaluable opportunity for all our learners. Her insights and guidance will provide you with valuable tools to up your communications game and excel in various aspects of personal and professional life. Let's take this chance to learn from one of the brightest minds in education and enhance our communication skills together. We look forward to seeing you all at the sessions. As I bring remarks to a close, I request Dr. Uppal ma'am to come up on the stage and share her invaluable experiences and remarkable journey with all of us.
Good evening to one and all present here. And thank you, Simran, for giving such a beautiful introduction of mine. And I feel everybody can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So I really welcome you all and welcome to this beautiful world of English. English is such a language which is definitely not the first language of us, we the Indians. But then it is coming up, people have started speaking and communicating, and now we can see the growth which is required among us so that we can enter into this competitive world. Now, if we see, I don't know whether you know the history behind English in India, especially till 1947, till we got independence, it was Britishers who were ruling our country. And therefore, all the official language in India everything was done in English. But when we got independence, that is on 15th August 1947, and when they planned to leave India, we were left with the choice of either eradicating, leaving, sending this English back with them to Britain, or keeping it with us. You know, you'll be surprised that we all decided that this English is a symbol of slavery. We will remove this English from India. But then it was very difficult because our official work, everything was in English itself at that point of time. So therefore, it was decided that India will take, and you know, one part is taking this English out of India was maybe easy, but then we never had a solid language behind which will take over. So therefore, it was decided that India will take 15 years to remove English from our country and, you know, increase the level of Hindi or any other Indian languages to take the seat of this English. But after 15 years, and if you calculate, it would be in 1962 when this Kothari Commission came in, and we started with this education policy which came, you know, till then, it was realized that it is impossible to remove English from the country, because the way English was growing in the world and with this globalization, we cannot, and our Hindi is not as strong in its vocabulary as English. And it was only then that it was decided that if we are not removing English from our country, let us increase and improve English in Indians. And it is only since then that we have opened so many universities. And, there's a Central University in Hyderabad also, which is totally on English. So there were so many other universities which started off. All our PG courses started off, which was definitely would be in English, because we wanted our Indians to know what English is and how important English is. English, no doubt, is today a window to the world. So therefore, let us now see that knowing English, knowing the grammar, knowing the literature, reading a prose or a poetry can only help you in scoring marks. But what about communication? That is the most important thing. I have been into this educational field for past 25 years now, and I have seen that even the best English schools of maybe Jamshedpur or anywhere, if you'll go, you enter a class 8 or a 9 standard child and you ask them to stand up and read it properly or to speak in fluent English, they are not able to do it. So where are we going wrong? What needs to be done? So let's just touch about this communication. We are not going to do here something about, just talking about the theory aspect. But in today's session, I want that to be quite, interesting, in a sense that I will ask you a few questions. I will put it a few questions in front of you, and I want you to answer. Let it be more interactive rather than just you listening to what is happening. I will tell you how we are going to go about it. I'm going to share the screen now, and we'll see how, English and communication will affect and increase our vocabulary. So, I hope you can see the screen now.
It's visible, ma'am.
It's visible. Okay. All right. So let's begin with this. What exactly are we looking for? Impression or expression? There are two different things, Impression is where you want to impress others, and therefore you will find some people, speaking in such a manner where they are putting a lot of stress on some syllables which are not required at all, just to impress others, just to make it that you have just returned from US or UK and therefore you can put in some. But when it comes to expression, are we able to express ourselves properly? Whatever I am speaking today, if you are able to understand, then that is what is correct. But gradually we need to know whether we are speaking it correctly or not. See, when it comes to speaking aspect, the communication part, remember one thing, pronunciation plays a very important role. When we speak, we need to speak with correct, way of pronouncing it. Like when I say today or Monday or Tuesday, normally what happens is people put it in Hindi. So we call it as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday rather, because that's how it's been written. But when we speak in English, we should always say it is today, A. So A sound is important. Well, sounds are different, but you know, when we go about it in English, we need to know how things need to be, or rather how we should express ourselves. We'll first start with what is communication skill, and then we'll move further. Communication skills, if you see, are abilities to use when, you know, when we need to give some kind of information to other. If I have to give you some information, if I want to tell you something, I need to communicate and need a language to communicate. And this language, specifically English, if we are talking about, I can communicate new ideas, my feelings, or even I can update you on a project or something. In communication, basically, there are 4 things which are very important. One, that is listening. If you're listening to me properly, then you will see that the way I am pronouncing the words or the way I am putting it in a sentence is how different it is from others. Speak, which I will ask you definitely to do so during my session. You speak, and when you speak, I'll come to know how well you know or how many of you can put it in a sentence form. Observe. Today, I will ask you to observe things and respond. And the next is empathizing. I hope you know what do you mean by empathizing. Do you know what is empathy? Come on, you can unmute and say.
I don't.
Feel something's others' pain.
Okay. Anyone else? Is it only pain related?
No, no, ma'am. They can feel the in place of.
Okay, then what is sympathy? Come on, try.
The empathy means the ability to understand another person's thoughts and feelings, ma'am.
Okay, correct. So when we talk about sympathy, I can sympathize you. बेचारा गरीब है, बेचारे के पास पैसा नहीं है. But empathy is, I am feeling it from within. Your khushi, your gum, your happiness, your desires, your feelings, everything can be empathized. So that is empathy. Now, whatever I am feeling, what happens is we are unable to express ourselves. So that is what is incorrect. Chaliye, let's, start with this in an effective manner. Number 1, be clear and concise. If you really want to communicate effectively, be clear and concise. Why is that so? Why do you think that when others speak, you do not understand? Because either आप बहुत सारा बोल रहे हैं, बहुत सारा. You are speaking so much that there is no punctuation in between. There's no expression in between. There's no gesture in between, and you cannot understand what others are saying. And it becomes very monotonous. Sometimes you are not very clear in what you are saying. Always speak in short sentences. Remember one thing, if you want to really communicate effectively, speak in short sentences, and you will do it only when you think in English. Please think in English and do not think in Hindi and translate. Your mind is a translator. You think in your mother tongue. And that is the reason why you are unable to speak in English correctly. हम हमेशा हिंदी में सोचते हैं या मदर टंग में सोचते हैं. I'm a Bengali, I'll think in Bengali. I'm a Punjabi, I'll think in Punjabi. I'm a Tamilian, I'll think in Tamil. And then my mind is translating it in English. And that is the reason why when we speak in incorrect English. Because we are basically translating. Nothing else. मेरा सर चक्कर खा रहा है. My head is spinning. Your head cannot spin. My head is going round and round. Your head cannot go round and round. But then that is how we speak in Hindi. And because we speak in Hindi in that manner, we translate. So be clear in your words. Do not give detailed information. Be concise. Messages, your words needs to be very short and crisp. तभी सामने वाला understand करेगा. So that's the first point I really wanted to communicate. The next one is empathy that I said. दूसरे के feelings को, दूसरों के जो feelings हैं, अगर आप उनके हिसाब से या उनकी जो demand है, उनके हिसाब से if you are not communicating, then people will not understand you. They will not listen to you. Somebody who's very happy and you talk to them about something which is very sad, they will not like it. Somebody who's very sad and you are telling a story of a movie, they will not like it. So empathize with the person whom you are communicating. Follow what is in the atmosphere. See what position they are in. What, the way the environment is, speak accordingly. Practice this empathy. People will love your speech. They really want to talk to you because you understand what they want to hear from you. So that is another point. Next, be calm and consistent. Don't get hyper when you speak. हम लोग ऐसे किए और हम ऐसे किए. That is incorrect. Don't, excite yourself. Hyper mat hoiye. Be calm. I don't know what profession you all are in. In what profession are you in fact, if I may ask you all? Are you all students?
Ma'am, I am Shaumin Adhikari from West Bengal. I am an engineer working with a telecom sector.
Oh, wonderful. If you're working with the telecom sector, then you have to speak to so many people. You are an engineer, you have to work. And remember, all the engineering things in the world is in English. And Hindi or Bengali, your Bangla is not to that extent strong enough to overtake English. All the research work is done in English. Right. So English plays a very important role in your work field.
Yes.
But when you speak, you have something to tell to your boss. You have something to tell to your subordinates. You have to be calm and consistent in your speech. See, sometimes you want to speak something and they understand in a different manner, which is, very common in India because, especially if you're from West Bengal, see, English and Bangla, they are two different languages. One is a foreign language, one is an Indian language. Both the languages are different. Bangla, as far as I know, has a rounded sounds. Right?
Yes.
You say "o," Roshogulla, "o."
Yes.
That "o" sound is very consistent there. So your mouth will always be in that field. When you speak in English, you will speak in that manner. Another, difference that I see with English is you don't have a V sound, V. In Bangla, there is no V sound, just a value. So they will never call it as Vijay Dakshmi. They will call it as Bijoy Dakshmi. B. They have B, not V. So if you do not have that sound, and when you're speaking in English, there will be a problem with you because you don't have that sound at all. So kahan se muh pe aayega? So you need to practice that.
Yes.
जब ये नहीं होगा तो आप गलत बोलेंगे और जब आप गलत बोलेंगे तो आप चिड़चिड़ाएंगे because सामने वाला is not able to understand what you are saying in English.
क्या होता है स्टमक में?
Yes, somebody said something.
तू अपने आप सोचना क्या होता है स्टमक में?
Yes. Somebody said something?
There was some disturbance, ma'am. We can continue.
Okay.
Really sorry.
Okay. Fine. So when we are speaking, when we are using English as a language, we have to understand the sounds also. And you have to understand that how we are pronouncing the words, how we are using our mouth to pronounce a particular sound. So if that is not done, then you are not then calm. So be calm, be cool, don't get hyper, don't get your pitch high, don't raise your pitch. I'll tell you about the pitch also. Let me tell you, first we finish with this. Now, use and your read body language. You use your body language and you read others also. That is also very important. Read the facial expression of others. I am talking to you on a digital platform where most of you all have not opened your, cameras. I cannot see you. Basically I'm seeing myself. But when it is a real thing, when I go to the class, when I talk to you all, then one-to-one or maybe in a classroom where the whole group is sitting, the teacher understands. How will you know how much you are understanding? Through your eyes, through your facial expression. So it is very important that when you speak, when you communicate, look at them, which is very important. You read them, you look at the movement, you look at their facial expression, and then you will understand how much they are listening to you, observing you, and understanding you. Okay. Now comes the tone. Be careful about your tone. The way you speak, that tells us what you want to. In English, I don't know how many of you are good singers, but if you know how to sing properly, you must have seen there are notes. And the singers, they keep their notes in front of them and they go by the notes. And you must have seen in orchestra, वो लोग ऐसे ऐसे करते रहते हैं. Where you want to go up, where you want to come low. In English, when we speak, there is always a tone which has to be followed. Mind your tone. Now, for example, let me tell you, there are 3 types of tones in English. All right. One is the falling tone. Now, if you look at the screen carefully, look at the statements. If I want to say, nice to meet you, then you has to be on a falling tone. Nice to meet you. I'll be back in a minute. She doesn't live here anymore. Dad wants to change his car. Here is the weather forecast. See what I'm trying to say? It's a falling tone. I'm not raising my voice here. I'm going for a walk in the park. I'm going for a walk in the park. I'm not saying park. What I'm saying is it's park. So I'm going for a walk in the park. So I hope you understand. That's the falling tone. Whenever we are saying a statement, it is always in a falling tone. Another thing what is in the falling tone is our commands. When I give you a command, write your name here. Show me what you have written. Leave it on the desk. Take that picture down. Throw that out. Put your books on the table. Take your hands out of your pockets. It's always a falling tone. It's marked with an arrow. If you can see, this arrow gives the direction, how to speak. Now see, all your WH questions. I hope you know what are WH. WH questions are those who begin with WH, like who, what, why, when, which. Even how comes into WH questions in English. So whenever you are asking the question with the WH, always have a falling tone. What country do you come from? Where do you work? Which of them do you prefer? When does the shop open? How many books have you bought? Which coat is yours? Whose bag is this? So everything is in a falling tone. Now, question tags. All these are question tags. I hope you know what are question tags. Question tags are when you say a sentence and you put a question after that, at the end of the sentence. He thinks he's so clever, doesn't he? He's such a nuisance, isn't she? He failed the test because he didn't revise, didn't he? It doesn't seem to bother him much, does it? Now imagine, see, every time it is a falling tone. Your exclamations are always in a falling. People call it as a up, rising tone, but it's always a falling tone. How nice of you. How nice of you. No, how nice of you. That's just what I need. You don't say, what a beautiful voice. That's a surprise. It's always a falling tone. Now see, suppose I'm not using my tone properly. What a beautiful voice. This means you have a beautiful voice. After listening to Simran, I can say she has a beautiful voice. But if I say, what a beautiful voice. Now see, my tone is not falling. I'm saying beautiful. If my tone is incorrect, you can very well understand that it's more of a pun or a satire rather than a compliment. So if your tone is not correct, the meaning changes. Now let's go to the rising tone now. All your yes, no questions are always with the rising tone. Do you like your new teacher? Have you finished already? May I borrow your dictionary? Do you have any magazines? Do you sell stamps? These are all rising tone. So one is the falling tone, another one is the rising tone. So this rising tone is when you ask yes, no questions. Now you have question tags that show uncertainty and require any answer. We have met already, haven't we? Now here is an uncertainty. You like fish, don't you? You are a new student, aren't you? The view is beautiful, isn't it? So here if you see, there you will find that, question tags, जिसमें uncertainty है, जिसमें एक answer मुझे चाहिए आपसे, तब मैं rising tone को use करती हूँ. और ये है falling rising tone, और ये आप जब इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो या तो आपका hesitation समझ में आता है या uncertainty या doubt समझ में आता है. So ऐसे sentences को थोड़ा सा avoid कीजिए falling rising tone को. Avoid using this tone unless and until you are actually uncertain about it. Right? Now suppose, let's see the last sentence. Do you think it's allowed? Now, do you think it's allowed is a question which is yes or no. But the moment I put it as, do you think it's allowed? Shayad no, uncertain, doubt. Right? So that way you should not use it unless and until you really mean to. You didn't see him on Monday. I don't quite. Now see, the way you say is important. So I would definitely say like, you don't see him on Monday. I don't quite remember. Falling. I don't quite remember. So, a falling, rising tone. So you should avoid such tones. All right. Chaliye, let's proceed and let's go back to our communicative, effectively the way we need to communicate. Maintain your body language. Remember, body language plays an important part. कभी भी हाथ को क्रॉस करके खड़े होके बात मत कीजिए. That is a very bad way of talking. Steady pace में बात कीजिए. बहुत जल्दी बोलना. See, in India, our mother tongue influence a lot when we speak in English. सो साउथ में जाइए, साउथ की लैंग्वेजेस आर वेरी स्पीडी लैंग्वेजेस लाइक कन्नड़ और तमिल, तेलुगु, मलयालम, दे स्पीक वेरी फास्ट, राइट? उनकी लैंग्वेज ही वैसी है, इसलिए जब वो इंग्लिश भी बोलेंगे तो बहुत जल्दी बोलेंगे। और यही चीज जब आप नॉर्थ में जाएंगे तो एक दूसरा आ जाएगा, राइट? सो आप ढंग से ठीक से बोलिए, आई कांटेक्ट अपना अच्छा रखिए, वो बहुत जरूरी होता है। अगर कोई बैठ के बात कर रहा है तो आप भी बैठ के आई कांटेक्ट कीजिए, कोई खड़ा है तो आप भी खड़े होके आई कांटेक्ट के साथ बात कीजिए और सही भाषा का प्रयोग कीजिए। हमारा मदर टंग को इन्फ्लुएंस कभी मत होने दीजिए व्हेन वी स्पीक इन इंग्लिश, because if you'll go to Punjab, they have a very they have a habit of adding e before s, so they will not say spoon, they'll say spoon, sports, that's how they speak. So वो इन्फ्लुएंस आएगा। और साउथ में जाएंगे तो य साउंड आएगा, तो आपकी मैथ्स टीचर भी बोलती होगी यल यम यन आर 3 पॉइंट्स। सो आपका रीजन, आपका लैंग्वेज, आपका स्टेट, आपकी लैंग्वेज, मदर टंग स्पेशली बहुत इन्फ्लुएंस करती है जब वी कम्युनिकेट इन इंग्लिश। So communication plays a very vital role when it comes to speaking of English. Okay. Another very important thing is ये जो और जो बीच में आता है ना, इनको छोड़िए। और ये क्यों आता है? ये इसलिए आता है बिकॉज आपके पास vocabulary strong नहीं है। So because you don't have a word, you want a gap. As I said in the beginning, आपका mind is basically a translator. आपकी मदर लैंग्वेज जो है उसमें उसने सोचा मदर टंग में, और वो ट्रांसलेट कर रहा है। अब उसको वो वर्ड ही नहीं मिल रहा है इन इंग्लिश, तो अब आप क्या करेंगे? अब आप उसका इंग्लिश वर्ड नहीं मिलेगा तो हाँ, इट इज समथिंग लाइक दैट एंड इट हैपेंस लाइक दिस, दिस एंड दैट, हाँ, ये सब वर्ड्स आते हैं। ये सब क्यों आ रहा है? I know a person, every time they used to say, and the thing is that, now the thing is what? The thing is nothing. It is basically you are using that time, mind frame, time ले रहा है to go and search for a perfect vocabulary, a perfect verb. Now वो word कहाँ से आपको आएगा? So जब तक आप इंग्लिश में बोलेंगे नहीं, I would recommend all of you to please, if you really are spending so much of time and energy and money in learning English, better speak in English. Nothing can improve your English till you study, till you read, till you speak. और ये जब तक आप रीड जब आप करते हैं तो वो वर्ड्स क्या होते हैं, आपके सर में, आपके दिमाग में जाके बैठते हैं और वो कहीं ना कहीं सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में जाते हैं। वो पैसिव वोकैबुलरी इंक्रीज कर रहा है, लेकिन द मोमेंट यू स्टार्ट स्पीकिंग, दैट पैसिव वोकैबुलरी कम्स ऑन इनटू द एक्टिव वोकैबुलरी। आप खुद ही सोचिए ना, अ वर्ड लाइक अक्रॉस इज सच ए सिंपल वर्ड, लेकिन लास्ट आपने वर्ड अपनी वोकैबुलरी में, अपनी स्पीच में कब बोला था? जस्ट थिंक अबाउट इट। यू आर नॉट यूजिंग सच वर्ड्स ऑल्सो। So it is very important if you start speaking in English. If you speak in English, तब ये जो बीच के जो gaps है ना, और and the thing is that, and this is, and that way, and etc., and so and so and so and on, ये words नहीं आएंगे. So you better start speaking in English. Okay? चलिए, now let's do one exercise. I hope you all are listening, and I want you all to unmute and tell me the answer. You can say all together, I have no problems, but I will just see on the screen how many of you are really telling me the answer. I know थोड़ा सा hodgepodge होगा, I know disturbance होगा, but कोई बात नहीं. Let me see in this exercise how many of you can actually do what I am asking you to do. Clear? I'm going to give you a sentence. There is a sentence written, which is not clearly written. Clear नहीं है इसका. मुझे आप रीड करके बताइए मैंने ये लिखा क्या है. थोड़े वर्ड्स ओवरलैप किए हैं, थोड़ा डिफरेंट किया है मैंने इसको. Let me see how many of you can read this sentence. At least unmute yourself and try. I hope you have understood what you want to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Chaliye. So this is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
sentence. Come on, read it.
Ability to
Ability to once
concentrate on the problem is
once that problem is of
one by one.
Ability to concentrate on the
constant
problem
of the success of
successful mental work.
We didn't understand anything.
ability to once
I can understand
concentrate on the problem is
of the के बाद जो वर्ड है काफी कोई बताया नहीं मुझे.
Of the problem.
Problem है मैम.
Of the problem is
No.
Of the success mentally
constituent
mental work.
mental work.
Okay, very good. अब आपने जो पढ़ा है वो ये है.
Concentrate.
Ability to तो सबने सही पढ़ लिया. Concentrate भी पढ़ लिया. On the problem is इसके बाद क्या है? Ability to concentrate on the problem is one of the parts of the successful mental work.
Yes.
Very good. चलिए, काफी लोगों ने काफी हद तक बहुत अच्छा पढ़ा है. चलिए अब नेक्स्ट पे आते हैं.
In the below puzzle,
In the below puzzle, a word start and end with
The below puzzle, same letter.
same letter.
Can you figure out
what the word is?
Yes. Now I will give you a blank. You tell me what this word is. इस वर्ड का फर्स्ट और लास्ट अल्फाबेट मैंने नहीं लिखा है. नाउ दिस टेल मी व्हाट द वर्ड इज. फर्स्ट और लास्ट अल्फाबेट डाल के वर्ड बनाइए.
circus.
नहीं, सर्कस नहीं. Yes, trust. Very nice. Up next. Now you don't have to read it. Next is you have to tell me what the correct answer is. ये जो word italics में है, उसका meaning इन चार में से कोई एक है. Tell me what is the correct answer. Tell me 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Adventitious.
4. Accidental.
4. एक ने कहा 4. Others? No one else wants to try?
One insufficient.
Insufficient. Okay.
Insufficient. Number 1.
1. Chaliye. Basically, your answer is number 4, accident. Chaliye, another one.
The correct
Alex में है, उसका meaning बताइए. A, B, C, D.
Faultless. 1A.
Oh wow, great. 1.
Beautiful.
Chaliye, next. What according to Gandhi ji is the italics में जो word है उसको बताइए.
Perfect example.
Very nice.
मेरा पता ही नहीं. Means of attaining.
Means of attaining.
Perfect
Perfect
example. Correct.
Okay. Right.
अब
Okay.
इसको solve कीजिए जरा.
Choose the correct answer. Certain language.
In a certain language, we increase discipline at least. If smoking is harmful,
Habit is food, not tool. Wow.
Nat B.
No.
Okay.
None of this.
One said
D.
B, one said
D.
B.
रहेगा D.
B.
D.
D. None of this.
D, ma'am. None of this.
B.
Okay, basically the answer is vogue. One.
Vogue.
कैलकुलेट कर
Sorry,
लीजिएगा, आ जाएगा आंसर. ठीक है.
Sorry.
चलिए अब ये वाला देखिए, इसमें बहुत सारी मिस्टेक्स हैं. टेल मी द मिस्टेक्स इन इंग्लिश. You have to speak in English. Tell me what are the mistakes.
The calendar shows June month 28 days, which is wrong.
Very good. One.
There is no lace in the shoes, ma'am.
No lace.
Shoes,
Correct. Two.
The third one, the power plug is not plugged in a socket.
Socket. What is wrong in the socket?
The plug is not inserted in a socket.
Okay, it's
man, the
kept
plug is
inside, but
two
there's
window
some
close
other problem with the socket.
and the socket is
Direction change, madam.
Correct.
Direction.
Okay, socket also
Direction change.
accepted.
Then the shoe on the table.
Proper place.
The shoe on the table.
Shoe on the table, correct. Anything else?
Then
No one is looking at the clock.
Ma'am,
Look at the
no book,
clock.
madam. Book
No,
also. The
what's
letters
wrong
are
in
in
the
the
book?
ma'am, clock is on the table.
letters are in reverse.
Clock is
Letters
on
are
the
in
table.
reverse.
What's wrong in the clock?
There is a spectacle on the clocks.
Madam, book. The
Second,
letters are in
What's
reverse.
wrong in the book?
Letters are in reverse.
Whatever is written, it's ups and downs.
Letters are
You are in a
reverse.
same table, which is not good. Which is wrong, I think.
Okay.
Calendar
reverse,
has to
ma'am.
be hang on wall.
All right. Chaliye. So basically what you all have said, June has 28 days instead of 30 days. Yes. No shadow is cast from the calendar. The shoe has an uneven. हाँ ये किसी ने नहीं बोला. Shoe on the table बोला, but you have not calculated uneven number of eyelets on the shoe. The clock has only 11 markings and not 12. The plug you said has rounded pins, while the socket has the flat holes.
Reverse.
The book has the title on the wrong cover. Yes, calendar has, nobody has said this also, that the calendar has 5-day week instead of 7. So how good you are observing is also very important. So that was like in the beginning I said, if it's speaking, it's also observing. So that is, this was an example of that. Now, I'll show you a picture and you have to tell me what kind of an emotion that picture is depicting. I hope you get that. Look at the picture. What do you think this emotion is?
Confusion.
Confused.
confused.
Confused. Yes, confusion. Correct.
Right.
Next.
Shock.
Excitement.
Surprise.
Surprising.
Wonder.
Surprise.
I think. Shock.
surprising.
Correct. Surprise.
Surprise, ma'am.
Shocking surprise. The look at the eyes, it's more of a surprise. Okay. This one.
Angry.
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 Or irritating.
Angry.
Absolutely.
Angry, ma'am.
Frustration.
Anger. Right.
Correct. Anger. That is correct. This one.
Frustration.
No, not confusion. Confusion is already finished.
Frustration, tension.
Overstress and frustration.
Unable to do maybe a maths.
Boring.
So it's not boring.
Depressed.
He's not bored.
Depressed.
It's more of a
Depressed.
frustration rather than
Right.
bored.
Right.
Yes.
Frustration.
Correct.
Frustration.
Okay. Now let's speak in a very in a little different manner. Sauravji, do we have time a little more? Can I continue?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can continue.
Please continue, ma'am. Please continue.
Okay, chaliye. Now see, when we speak in English, we speak in a very normal way. I do not want to do this. I have never done this before. I am quite good at this. I love doing this. Can I come in? Can I go out? Please, may I come in? Please, may I go out? So these are simple sentences that we speak. He came to my room. I am going there. These are some such simple sentences that we are using in our day-to-day life. But then if we are using so simple English, then how are we different from the rest? One is knowing grammar. We can speak in English correctly. Now you can mute yourself till I ask you again to unmute. Okay, you can mute. All right. Now see, I am here telling you about how are we going to speak in a little different manner, a little better than the rest. Because when we speak in English, and if we are a professional, like you said, you're working in a telecommunication company, you are an engineer, if you're speaking in a very common, simple English sentences, people will not notice you also, because everybody is doing that. Everybody is speaking in that. So once you have the mastery over the language, let us now improve the level a little higher. So we'll use such phrases in our sentence to enrich our sentence. The meaning remains the same, but then these phrases will improve our language. Let's start with that. These are called idioms in English. A very simple thing, but then we'll see how are we doing it. Now, you make me crazy. Can I not say you are driving me nuts? A very simple way of saying it. You are driving me nuts today. आपका बच्चे बहुत आपको परेशान कर रहे हैं. You are driving me nuts. आपका husband आपके घर में बहुत तमाशा हो रहा है. You are driving me nuts. Next, you may get different results. Your mileage may vary. Different way you do it, different results आते हैं. ठीक है, चाय बनाने के डिफरेंट तरीके हैं. तो आप पहले दूध को डालिए या पहले पानी को उबाल लीजिए. हार्डली मेक्स एनी डिफरेंस. या सब कुछ एक साथ डाल दीजिए. Your mileage may vary. If you may get different results, your mileage may vary. I don't know. A very simple way. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. मुझे भी उतना ही पता है जितना तुम्हें भी नहीं पता, मुझे भी नहीं पता. I don't know. So use a very good way of saying your guess is as good as mine. Now, if you want to say never, say when pigs fly. ये इंग्लिश में बहुत अच्छा है. बहुत लोग इसको यूज करते हैं. Never means when pigs fly. आप कभी फिश खाते हैं? Never. अरे आप नॉन वेजिटेरियन है? Never. When pigs fly. Such a nice way of saying it. Use a very simple way, such idioms. It's, people will look at you in a very different manner. The secret has been revealed. The secret has been revealed. Matlab, the cat is out of the bag. The cat is out of the bag. Now everyone knows it. So the secret has been revealed. आज क्या हुआ? आज शरद पवार की पार्टी टूट गई और आज अजीत पवार ने डिप्टी सीएम बन गए महाराष्ट्र के. That was a secret maybe till last night, but now the cat is out of the bag. Now everybody knows it. So the cat is out of the bag. That's a very nice way of saying things. Another one. That was the end of the story. That's all she wrote. So a very good way of saying it. Let's be happy that the week is over. Thank God it's Friday. Now, why they are saying this? Because England में English वहीं से जन्मी है, तो वहाँ पे it's a 5-day week and Saturday, Sunday is always a holiday. So they say, thank God the week ends and now the weekdays, the week ends begin. So weekdays are over, weekend आ गया. So thank God it's Friday. So that's all, that's how you say. Now, if you see it in this manner also, he never made a will, to the best of my knowledge. Jahan tak mujhe pata hai. He never made a will. I don't want to live in the city, but I enjoy visiting once in a while. I don't want to live in the city. I don't want to live in Kolkata, too hassle bustle. But I enjoy visiting kabhi kabhi, once in a while, occasionally. Right? So that's how it says. I have 1,000,001 ideas. Oh, मेरे पास बहुत सारे ideas हैं. I have many, बहुत सारे ideas. How to do it? I have plenty of ideas. So I have 1,000,001. So that's an idiom which is a good way of saying things. I listen to the music every day. Come, rain or shine. Music तो हम रोज सुनते हैं. I love. So I listen to the music every day. Come, अब हम बोल रहे हैं, that's an idiom which is used here. Come, rain or shine. I stayed up all night studying for that exam, and then it turned out to be a breeze. सारा दिन पढ़ा, सारी रात पढ़ी, और अब पता चला इतना easy पेपर आ गया. I stayed up all night studying for that exam. सारा रात पढ़ते रहे, इतना सारी मेहनत की, and then it turned out to be a breeze. मतलब very easy paper आ गया. So that's how we say. Next, did you have a good vacation? Not really. I was sick as a dog. That means I was extremely ill. So I was sick as a dog the whole time. So vacation I did not enjoy because I was not well. So I was not well means I was sick as a dog. Another way of saying, I'm late for my best friend's wedding. Put the pedal to the metal. Matlab, basically pedal dabao. Fast chalao gaadi ko. So मैं अपने friend की wedding पे late हूँ. Press the pedal to the metal. मतलब पूरा प्रेशर से आप पेडल दबाइए, गाड़ी दौड़ाइए. So drive as fast as possible. So that's a new way of saying things. When you put such phrases into your sentence, your expertise in the language, people will start liking you, and you'll really enjoy. If you really want to speak correctly and improve yourself, first plan. Unless and until you plan, you cannot do anything in the world. हर चीज की planning is the first step. उसके बाद उसके हिसाब से act कीजिए, review कीजिए और try कीजिए. Unless and until you try, you will never improve yourself. You have to practice. You plan. And कैसे करना है? चाहे आप शीशे के सामने खड़े हो जाइए, चाहे आप फ्रेंड से बात कीजिए, चाहे आजकल तो आप लोग इतना डिजिटल वर्ल्ड में घुसे हुए हैं, आपके पास मोबाइल्स हैं, स्मार्टफोन्स हैं. रिकॉर्ड कीजिए अपनी आवाज को और फिर सुनिए अपनी ही आवाज को. देखिए आपने क्या वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग कीजिए, इंस्टेड ऑफ मेकिंग योर जो आप लोग बनाते रहते हैं रील्स ऑफ डांसिंग एंड फॉर फ्लाइंग एंड kicking and all singing and pata nahi kya kya. It's always better to speak, make a video, see yourself, correct yourself. Right? And Saurav ji has my number. You can take. I'm always there to help you if you want any help. But it is very, very important if you act, you review yourself, and you try again harder. The more you try, the better it will be for you. All right. Saurabh ji, can I go a little ahead or let's put an end to
We
it?
have time. We have time, ma'am. You can go ahead.
You have? Okay, just let me know because, you know, I don't know
No,
how.
no, no, no. Please continue.
Okay, time you all are, you know, waiting. Chaliye, now let's talk about some common mistakes. देखिए इंग्लिश में कॉमन मिस्टेक्स बहुत हम लोग करते हैं क्योंकि हमें समझ में ही नहीं आता कि हमें कौन सा वर्ब कहाँ लगाना है, क्योंकि हम हिंदी में सोचते हैं और हिंदी में सोच के इंग्लिश में बोलेंगे तो हमेशा उल्टा होगा, हमेशा गड़बड़ आएगी। राइट, everyone, someone, nobody, everybody, somebody, no one, each one, either of, neither of, each of, ये सब का मतलब होता है इंग्लिश में एक, वन। राइट, कोई भी नहीं, सब लोग, नो वन, ईच वन, ईदर तुम या तुम, नीदर कोई भी नहीं, ये सब सिंगुलर वर्ब्स हैं। तो इनके साथ क्या लगेगा? ईदर ऑफ द बुक नहीं आएगा, बुक्स इज गुड। मतलब इतने सारे बुक्स में से कोई, ईदर ऑफ द बुक इज गुड, ईदर इन दो में से एक। नीदर ऑफ द पेन्स, पेन्स आएगा, हाँ पेन कभी नहीं होगा, नीदर ऑफ द पेन नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि बहुत सारे पेन्स में से कोई नहीं की बात हो रही है। तो नीदर ऑफ द पेन्स वॉज रेड, दोनों जो पेन्स रखे थे दोनों में से कोई भी रेड नहीं था, तो वॉज वर नहीं। पर हम जब बोलते हैं तो हम क्या देखते हैं, क्योंकि वो बुक्स है या पेन्स है तो हम उसे फट से प्लूरल में बना देते हैं। तो ईदर ऑफ द बुक्स आर गुड नहीं, नीदर ऑफ द पेन्स वर रेड नहीं, ईदर ऑफ द बुक्स इज गुड, बट ईदर ऑफ द बुक्स, ये याद रखिए। वन ऑफ द बोलते हैं तो वन ऑफ द बुक्स मतलब वन, इतनी सारी बुक्स में से कोई एक, वन ऑफ द बुक्स। वन ऑफ द बुक कैसे होगा? एक बुक का बुक कहां से आएगी? तो वन ऑफ द बुक्स। ऐसे ईदर ऑफ द बुक्स, नीदर ऑफ द पेन्स, इस तरीके से हम हमेशा सिंगुलर वर्ब लगाएंगे, न कि प्लूरल। ऑलराइट, दैट्स अ कॉमन मिस्टेक। ईदर और, नीदर और, नॉर, एज वेल एज, ये भी सिंगुलर है, या तो ये या वो, दोनों में से कोई नहीं, दोनों ही, ये सब सिंगुलर है। ईदर राम और श्याम हैज डन इट, हैव डन इट नहीं। नीदर मैरी नॉर रिशु वर देयर नहीं, वॉज देयर। मैरी एज वेल एज रिशु, दोनों मिलके एक हुआ, इज इंटेलिजेंट। राइट, so remember, we are always using a singular verb when it comes to this. All right, many of, several of, a few of, two of, ये सब plural हो गए क्योंकि many हो गया, many मतलब बहुत सारा, several of मतलब बहुत, a few of मतलब कुछ, बहुत सारे में से कुछ, तो ये भी plural है। two of, बहुत सारों में से कोई दो, टू ऑफ, तो इनके साथ हमेशा प्लूरल वर्ब रहेगा। मेनी ऑफ द गर्ल्स आर टॉल, इज टॉल नहीं, मेनी है, काफी सारी लड़कियां। टू ऑफ द गर्ल्स हैव गॉन होम, सो टू ऑफ द गर्ल्स हैज गॉन होम नहीं, हैव गॉन होम। अ फ्यू ऑफ द एग्स आर बैड, आर रॉटन, आर। फ्यू ऑफ, बहुत सारे में से कुछ, सो इट इज अ फ्यू ऑफ। अब देखिए, हाफ ऑफ प्लस काउंटेबल नाउन अगर होगा तो प्लूरल आएगा। मतलब हाफ ऑफ द मैंगोज, मैंगोज यू कैन काउंट 1 2 3 4, तो आधे हैं, फ्रिज में रखे हुए आधे मैंगोज जो हैं वो अच्छे हैं, तो हाफ ऑफ द मैंगोज आर गुड। लेकिन अगर वही अनकाउंटेबल नाउन हो गया, जैसे लैंड, जैसे राइस, अनकाउंटेबल नाउन है, तो हाफ ऑफ द लैंड इज कल्टिवेटेड, तो दोनों में फर्क आ जाता है। हाफ ऑफ द काउंटेबल नाउन, अगर वो नाउन जो काउंट हो सकता है, चाहे वो काव हो, चाहे कोई एनिमल हो, चाहे कोई बर्ड हो, चाहे कोई आदमी हो, चाहे कोई कुछ हो, जो काउंट हो सकता है, फ्रूट्स हैं तो प्लूरल आएगा, लेकिन अनकाउंटेबल नाउन है तो सिंगुलर आता है. सो रिमेम्बर दैट. इसमें बहुत नॉर्मल लोग गलत कर देते हैं जब बोलते हैं. तो मोस्ट के साथ अगर काउंटेबल नाउन है तो प्लूरल लगता है. मोस्ट पीपल थिंक सो, थिंक्स नहीं, थिंक सो. मोस्ट ऑफ द बॉयज हैव कम, हैज कम नहीं, क्योंकि ये काउंट हो रहा है, हम काउंट कर सकते हैं बॉयज को, लोगों को, तो काउंटेबल हैं ये लोग, तो काउंट करिए. अगर अनकाउंटेबल है तो सिंगुलर है. जैसे चीनी, शुगर. मोस्ट ऑफ द शुगर वर डर्टी, was dirty. Most of the time, uncountable at time, most of the time is lost. Most of the money is spent. All right, so it is uncountable. Okay, now no matter how many mistakes you make or how slow you progress, you are still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. I would definitely like you to remember this. No matter आप कितनी भी गलतियां कीजिए, करते ही हैं आप लोग, हर कोई करता है. जब भी हम इंग्लिश बोलते हैं हम बहुत गलतियां करते हैं, पर जब हम गलतियां करते हैं और अगर हमारी प्रोग्रेस स्लो है तो भी फर्क नहीं पड़ता, बिकॉज वी आर ट्राइंग. Let us try. If you are not trying, you will never know. Maybe if sometime again, if I get a chance to meet you or communicate or have another session with you all, next time I would definitely like to touch upon only pronunciation, you know, only how we pronounce the words. Because हम लोग इतना गलत हिंदी को इंग्लिश में बना के प्रोनाउंस करते हैं, हमें ध्यान ही नहीं रहता है कि हम हिंदी बोल रहे हैं या वो इंग्लिश है. जैसे हम सब बोलते हैं आईब्रो, बट इट इज नॉट आईब्रो, इट इज आईब्राउ. राइट, तो हमें पता ही नहीं है. मिरेकल हो गया, अरे मिरेकल नहीं हुआ है, मिरेकल हुआ है. मैम आपका सुन के ना हमारा मेंटल डेवलपमेंट हो गया. अरे डेवलपमेंट नहीं हुआ है, डेवलपमेंट हुआ है. DEVE लिखते हैं लेकिन प्रोनाउंस हम DI करते हैं, डेवलपमेंट. ऐसे ही बहुत सारे वर्ड्स हैं जब हम प्रोनाउंस करते हैं हम लोग बहुत बहुत ज्यादा उनको गलत वे में बोलते हैं. टॉर्टस होता है, टॉर्टोइस नहीं होता है. एनिमल्स को भी हम सही ढंग से बात नहीं करते हैं. आई वांट टू गो टू टॉयलेट, टॉयलेट नहीं, टॉयलेट. वेडनेसडे नहीं, वेंसडे. सो देयर सो मेनी वर्ड्स जो हम बिल्कुल हिंदी की तरह इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं. Right, there are words like उस पेज पर लिखा है. पेज, पेज तो हिंदी हो गया ना, प में एक की मात्रा और ज, पेज. It's page. So are we actually pronouncing it correctly? Are we really using pronouncing? हमारा मुंह क्या सही तरीके से बोल रहा है? हमारे साउंड्स. क्यों ऐसा होता है कि जब अंग्रेज इंग्लिश बोलता है तो आपको समझ में नहीं आता? वो इसलिए समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्योंकि वो सही ढंग से प्रोनाउंस कर रहा है और आप नहीं कर रहे हैं. और इसीलिए सो व्हेन दे स्पीक इन हिंदी, इमेजिन कीजिए एक ब्रिटिशर जब वो हिंदी बोलता है, हम जा रहा था, हमें हंसी आती है. तो कभी ये सोचा है वो आपकी इंग्लिश सुन के कितना हंसते होंगे? क्योंकि आप अपनी मदर टंग में इंग्लिश बोल रहे हैं, आप इंग्लिश को इंग्लिश में तो नहीं बोल रहे हैं. तो क्यों ना हम इंग्लिश को इंग्लिश में बात करें और इंग्लिश की प्रोनाउंसिएशन को, इंग्लिश के साउंड्स को, इंग्लिश के सेंटेंसेस को सही ढंग से पढ़ें, सही ढंग से बोलें. एंड देन we will be able to communicate in English correctly. Let us speak. Let us have the habit of, you know, pronouncing the words correctly, putting it in the right sentence form, using the right verbs. And if you really want to improve your English, focus on adjectives. The more adjectives you use in your language, it will always be enriched. Use short sentences. Do not use prepositions and conjunctions itna ki sentence paragraph ban jaye. You know, when I have seen people when they speak in English, I went there and this happened, but this happened, therefore this will happen. Please, instead of using conjunctions, put a full stop. Short sentences are always appreciated. अगर आपने पूरा मेरा सुना होगा, I have always used short sentences. Hardly I will use any conjunction. Because छोटे sentences, easy to grasp, easy to learn, easy to understand. Longer sentences, आप खुद ही भूल जाते हैं कि आप बोलना क्या चाह रहे हैं. और फिर आएगा आपका और और this and that and etc and etc. So छोटे छोटे sentences use कीजिए, छोटा छोटा से concise way में बात कीजिए और अच्छे से बोलिए. Speak English as it is spoken. I would recommend you all, आपके पास अगर है BBC वगैरह channels हैं, तो आप प्लीज BBC चैनल को कभी खोलिए और उनकी इंग्लिश को सुनिए. You will understand how different it is from others. I think I've taken a lot of time. Saurabh ji, if they have any
It's
questions.
perfectly okay, ma'am. Yes, so we wanted to open the session for questions and answers. So
Thank you.
people, if you are there, you can just come into the limelight and you can ask your questions. You can put that in the chat box, your questions if you have any. So the room is open for questions, all of you. Ajay, Anand, Arun, Arshia, Dhanesh. If you're having any questions, you can unmute yourself. And I think Gangaraju is saying, ma'am, that we definitely want you. And even I would say that, we want you for the pronunciation session. It would be great to hear you on that particular topic also. Ramya, ma'am, if you're having any questions, anybody having questions over here. Yes, Akash. Akash, do you have a question?
How to
How to?
how to I am speaking English?
Your voice
Ask
is.
them to write it on in a chat box.
Please type that, Akash. Please type that in the chat box.
Right.
Anybody else who wants to ask a question? Anybody else?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I want to ask like how to greet someone in first meeting. Like what should we say?
I didn't get that. What is he saying?
How to greet somebody?
How to
Yes, ma'am.
greet somebody. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
How to greet somebody. Yes, that's a, it depends upon whom are you greeting. If you are greeting your, a very common way with the friends is hi, hello, how are you? लेकिन जब हम आजकल के जैसे जो ट्रेंड है जो बच्चों का है, hi bro, these are all the things जो इंग्लिश के बहुत colloquial या slang उसमें यूज होती हैं. तो avoid saying that. How are you feeling today? How's the day today? Or I hope you had a good night's sleep last night. इस तरीके से आप अपनी conversation को start कर सकते हैं. All right.
Yes, ma'am. So I think the common thread which is coming after your pronunciation thing is that people want to know how do they start on this journey of pronunciation? How do they improve their pronunciation? That is a common question which is coming up, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
we'll have your session after 5 days, 10 days time. Yes, maybe sometime very soon we'll have your session. But what can they do right now for their pronunciation? That is the question.
Okay. See, for the pronunciation part, I will say, in English, it is always RP. RP is received pronunciation, which is accepted. तो ये RP हमें सिर्फ 3 जगह से करेक्ट फॉर्म ऑफ प्रोनाउंसिएशन मिल सकता है. एक है BBC चैनल, एक है ऑक्सफोर्ड की यूनिवर्सिटी वहां के लोग, और एक है UK के जो जो प्रिंस हैं या जो किंग्स एंड क्वींस जो एरिस्टोक्रेटिक लोग हैं वहां के, वो लोग जो बोलते हैं. ये 3 जगह के लोग करेक्ट इंग्लिश प्रोनाउंसिएशन को यूज करते हैं इन द वर्ल्ड. सो अगर आपको इंग्लिश का प्रोनाउंसिएशन सीखना है तो आप बीबीसी चैनल देखिए, सुनिए। लेकिन हाँ, अब हम सोचते हैं कि उतना उस लेवल पे नहीं जा सकते, तो इंग्लिश न्यूज चैनल्स ही सुनिए। जैसे अर्नब गोस्वामी का जो रिपब्लिक आता है चैनल, अगर आप उसकी भी इंग्लिश देखेंगे ना, अब देखिए उसकी इंग्लिश हाइपर है, और मैं खुद ही बोल रही हूँ कि हाइपर होने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो आप उसकी टोन पे मत जाइए, क्योंकि शायद वो उसका काम है, वो उसका ड्यूटी है करना, वो एक्साइटमेंट नहीं लाएगा तो न्यूज कैसे बनेगी। लेकिन आप उसकी इंग्लिश को सुनिए, उसके वर्ड्स को सुनिए। सो द मोर यू लिसन, यू विल कम टू नो हाउ पीपल आर प्रोनाउंसिंग। और आप सुनने से पहले उनका मुंह देखिए। देखिए, जब हम प्रोनाउंस करते हैं ना, आपके लिप्स पे गौर कीजिए, उससे आपको पता चलेगा आपका मुंह कैसे बनता है। जैसे अगर मुझे बोलना है वैल्यू, तो मैंने क्या किया, मेरे लोअर लिप को मैंने ऊपर के दांत से टच किया था, वैल्यू। लेकिन अगर मुझे बोलना है वर्क, तो मैंने क्या किया, मैंने अपने दोनों लिप्स को राउंड बनाया, वर्क। तो इसका मतलब वी और डब्ल्यू के साउंड को प्रोनाउंस करना भी डिफरेंट होता है। सो व्हेन वी से वैल्यू, वैन, वर्क, एंड व्हेन वी से वर्क, सो वो वीक, आई एम फीलिंग वेरी वीक टुडे, दिस वीक विल हैज स्टार्टेड। सो आपके होठों को, उनके होठों पे जाइए, उनको देखिए। तो जब आप कॉन्सेंट्रेट कीजिए जरा, 1-2 दिन सिर्फ दूसरे के जो इंग्लिश बोलते हैं, जो अच्छी इंग्लिश बोल रहे हैं, उनके अगर होठों को ही आप देखेंगे या कानों से सुनेंगे, आपकी इंग्लिश इंप्रूव होगी, आपको वर्ड्स मिलेंगी। अदरवाइज आप ऑनलाइन जा सकते हैं, कोई भी वर्ड गूगल में टाइप कीजिए और उनको उससे पूछिए, गूगल में जाइए और पूछिए कि इस वर्ड को कैसे प्रोनाउंस करते हैं, तो वो साउंड के साथ आपको प्रोनाउंस करके देगा। राइट। सो आप इस टेक्नोलॉजी की भी हेल्प ले सकते हैं अगर आपको अपनी प्रोनाउंसिएशन को इम्प्रूव करना है तो।
I think the message over here is that you have to listen and you have to observe what the other person is actually speaking. The way the mouth is, getting exercised over there, the way the sound is coming out of his mouth, you have to observe that. When you do
Yes.
both of this, you will get that particular pronunciation. To start with, this is one, and then we'll definitely call ma'am. Ma'am, Akash is asking how can somebody who is from regional medium or otherwise improve their English from as a beginner? For somebody who is a beginner, how can they improve their English spoken? What would be your suggestions, one or two of them,
Okay.
for a beginner?
For the beginners, right? See, when we have a mother tongue and when we are using that mother tongue, बहुत prominent place आपका माउथ ले चुका है उसके ऊपर। So फर्स्ट बिगनर्स के लिए अपने होठों को, अपने माउथ को थोड़ा सा फॉर्म करना स्टार्ट कीजिए। डू नॉट डू इट इन दैट मैनर। फर्स्ट थिंग इज, हाँ, सो फर्स्ट थिंग आपको जो करना है इज अपनी रीजनल लैंग्वेज को कम यूज करके इंग्लिश को बोलना ज्यादा स्टार्ट कीजिए। करेक्ट प्रोनाउंसिएशन बाद में आएगा, लेकिन इंग्लिश को पहले अपने वोकैबुलरी में लाइए। एंड स्टॉप थिंकिंग इन योर मदर टंग, think in English. If you think in English, everything will be correct. वो ऑटोमेटिकली आएगा। तो बिगनर्स के लिए सबसे पहला तो मैं यही बोलूंगी, मदर टंग को बोलना कम कीजिए और इंग्लिश के वर्ड्स और सेंटेंसेस को इंक्लूड कीजिए अपनी डे टू डे भाषा में।
Ma'am, I think Jagannathan is asking how can anybody identify their English level? Like which level they are? Are they at level 1, level 2? Do you have any test of that sort? Or how does one identify what level they are in?
इंग्लिश में आप लेवल पे क्यों जा रहे हैं? व्हाई डू यू वांट कि आप एकदम एक्सट्रीम और एकदम एक्सीलेंट ओरेटर बन जाएं? जिस लेवल में है, जिस प्रोफेशन में आप हैं, और जहां तक की इंग्लिश आपको जरूरत है, आप उसी लेवल तक जाइए। सो डोंट गो बाय से ये जो इंडिया में जो मार्क्स वाला कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया है ना कि 5 मिला तो एवरेज और 9 मिला तो गुड और 10 मिल गया तो एक्सीलेंट, उस पे मत जाइए। Nothing is related to any level. You speak in English correctly, you pronounce correctly, you express yourself correctly, and that's the best way of doing it. आप अपने आप को किसी लेवल पे मत लेके जाइए, आप सिर्फ बिगिन कीजिए, इंग्लिश बोलना सीखिए और धीरे धीरे अपने आप को अपने से इम्प्रूव कीजिए। Don't think that I'm at the 5 level or a mediocre level or an, extreme better one. I don't go by all this marks and all. जहां आप हैं खुश रहना भी सीखिए, लेकिन there's always a room for improvement. वो आप करते रहिए, but don't categorize yourself into one compartment.
Great.
Don't do that.
Nageshwar is asking, ma'am, how can we improve fluency? Because we are a platform, we help learners improve their fluency. But still, what would be your take on fluency? What would be your suggestion for anybody who is looking to improve their fluency in a very, very short span of time? Suppose that is the requirement. Fluency improvement in the shortest possible time. What would be your suggestions?
Only one thing. Speak and only speak in English.
Absolutely.
सब कुछ इंग्लिश में कीजिए, अपने आप आएगा. How have you learned your mother tongue? Your mother taught you your mother tongue. कौन सिखाया आपको मदर टंग? किसी ने बैठ के ग्रामर सिखाई थी मदर टंग की, या रिटन वे में सिखाया था किसी ने आपको मदर टंग? आई एम सीइंग देयर आर सो मेनी पीपल, तेलुगु भी हैं कोई, जैसे आई कैन सी नागेश्वर राव जी हियर, मे बी from Andhra Pradesh or somewhere. We have Biharis, we have Bengalis, we have Tamilians. आपको कौन मदर टंग सिखाया बताइए? कोई नहीं सिखाता. किसी ने आपको मदर टंग नहीं सिखाया था कि आई एम गोइंग बोलना है, राइट? या आलू को आलू बोलते हैं और प्याज को प्याज बोलते हैं, ये आपको किसी ने नहीं सिखाया था. माँ आपको गुस्सा करती थी, आप कैसे समझे? समझते भी नहीं थे आप तो. So you have learned the mother tongue only by listening and speaking. You have learned your mother tongue by listening to your mother tongue for 1 full year. Can you believe it? आप पैदा हुए और आपने पूरा 1 साल सुना. जब आप पैदा हुए थे आपकी माँ गोदी में उठा के बोलती थी, अब बेटा पापा के पास जाएगा, अब बेटा दादी आपको दूध पिलाएगी क्योंकि मम्मी बहुत बिजी है, मम्मी को किचन में जाना है. Do you think वो 2 दिन का बच्चा समझ रहा है? But he was listening to you, and full 1 year he listened. And the moment he started speaking, he started calling you Amma, Ma, Bai, whatever you call it. Right? And then he only started calling it दूध पीना है, पानी पीना है, जूस पीना है, खाना खाना है, ये पापा है, ये दादा है, ये दादी है. How do they know? They have listened to these words for 1 full year, and now they recognize it by looking at it. They look at your dada and say दादाजी. They look at the आलू and say आलू. ये कहाँ से आया? माँ ने 1 साल उसको दिखाया है. 1 साल माँ ने व्हाइट कलर लिक्विड बॉटल में दे के बोला बेटा दूध पिएगा. So now the child understood this white color liquid is called दूध. So that's the way you learn English. So if you really want to learn English, you have to listen and you have to speak. So speak and only speak is the reason, answer to your question, nothing else.
And one question which I wanted to ask on behalf of everybody over here is that, you have been asking to stop translating because translating is delaying your fluency. So
Yes.
the thing is that you told is you have to think in English. But, it's very easy to say that you start thinking in English. Your mother tongue is Bengali or Marathi or Odia. But how do you start thinking in English? What is the process involved in thinking in English? Because initially for anybody, they would be still saying that I'm not able to draft sentences in my mind. So how do we start thinking in English? What is the process?
The first step to start thinking in English is to enhance your vocabulary. अगर vocabulary आपके पास है तो automatically words बनेंगे. आपके पास, आप बंगाल से हैं, बंगाली बोलते हैं, पूरा environment बंगाली है, घर से निकलते हैं तो बंगाली, घर के अंदर तो वही language, तो वही अगर एक वो language चल रही है और वही सुन रहे हैं तो आपका दिमाग सोच भी वही रहा है. क्यों? क्योंकि आपको वो वर्ड्स पता है. You can express yourself. आज यहाँ जितने लोग भी आप बैठे हैं, अगर आप इन लोगों से बोलिए अपनी भाषा में 1-2 मिनट का टॉक दे दें किसी भी टॉपिक पे, देखिए फटफट निकलेगा मुंह से. Why? Because they are very strong in their mother tongue, vocabulary. इंग्लिश में vocabulary strong कर लीजिए, आपका दिमाग इंग्लिश में सोचना चालू कर देगा और इंग्लिश में बोलेगा. So enhance your vocabulary, your dimag, your brain will automatically start thinking in English. Because you don't have vocabulary, it's translating.
Okay, so I think there are no more questions. If you are having any further questions, you can ask it right now, or we'll say we'll wind up this session with ma'am. Nageshwar sir, your phone is on unmute. You want to ask some question, Nageshwar sir? You want to ask about it?
Yes,
No,
sir. Thank
yes,
you for
Nageshwar.
suggestions. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, fine. Shivam, I don't think that question is valid for this particular session as of now. We'll be sending, yes, Sumit will be sending some vocabulary for practice. We'll be sending all of that. I would now like to actually thank ma'am for the kind of session that you have done. Trust me, for me, it was all such an enlightening moment where I came to know about this Kothari Commission. I was never aware of this particular thing, that it took 15 years for us. It was so impossible for us to remove English. I just came to know that today. I loved the session where you talked about falling tone, rising tone, speaking with idioms. Somebody has just asked the topic about what is the meaning and importance of idioms, but I understood it for the first time with you, this is actually a way of sounding sophisticated. If somebody wants to sound sophisticated, you can use idioms. So many things we learned over here, ma'am. Listening, we have to listen to Oxford, BBC, Queen. It was full of so much of knowledge bites from your side. So I would now like to call Yamshi on the stage. Yamshi, if you're available, just confirm yes. And
Yes, sir.
yes, so we just want to give a formal vote of thanks to ma'am for the session that you have conducted. It was such a wonderful session, ma'am. And as people have been saying, we'll be definitely doing a session with you once again. But yes, over to you, Yamshi, for a formal vote of thanks.
Yes, sir. So first, I would like to thank you, Amit sir, for conducting this beautiful webinar for us today. And today we have invited you, Monica ma'am, and I also would like to thank you for attending this meeting. Thank you so much, ma'am, for letting us know the importance of communication, and thank you for giving us easy methods that how we can improve our communication in our life. And as we all know that communication plays a vital role in everyone's life, and today Monica ma'am really gave amazing tips to us. So thank you, ma'am. We will surely try to implement all those things which you have mentioned in your presentation. You have also given us some items which will help to make our communication effective. Examples were also great, ma'am. So thank you so much for making it clear to us. And also you have answered of all the questions which our learners asked today. We are really grateful to you, ma'am, because you have given your valuable time to us. We really want this kind of guidance, ma'am. So thank you so much for your support. And it was really a pleasure that you have come in our meeting today. We hope you will come again in our meeting and motivate us like this as you have done today, ma'am. So thank you so much for coming. And thank you everyone for your valuable time here. I hope you all have learned something new today. So thank you so much for joining. It was really a great meeting with you all. So thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
inviting
Thank
me.
you so
I hope it was quite enriching and
Absolutely.
right. And I hope you all start communicating in English very soon. So happy.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.